What's up, everybody? Welcome to another transmission of COMMS straight out Tehachapi. I'm Andy from Tehachapi.
What's up, everybody? I'm Ryan, and this is episode 4, 5. What number are we on now?
Yeah, it depends on when they get done. Who actually
when they get edited,
who
when
has
they come
time to
out.
do it and whatnot. Yeah, but I think this will be 5.
But
It'll be a
yeah,
single-digit episode.
for sure. You're in the first 10, absolutely. So we're looking good, but it's been fun. I'm happy to be here again. So.
And this is
So I'm Matt. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. Bust out, man. Let's hear it.
All right. I'm Matt. I'm from Oakland. Been known Andy for a long time. Ran in similar circles. I played drums in Discourage. I play guitar and tuning, and not really officially a member, but I also tour and play bass with a band called Spirits.
Nice. All awesome bands. If you haven't checked out any of those bands, or you not familiar with all those bands, check them out. Tuning definitely put out one of the best records last year, I think.
For sure.
We already talked about that one with Mike P from the Warrior.
Yeah.
Just because I said that was my pick, and it was one of my favorite records last year. So we did it. So real quick, we're not going to dive deep in like how you got into hardcore and stuff, but Matt, you came up through San Diego. You played in a couple bands there. Why don't you touch on that for a second there?
Yeah, sure. Grew up in San Diego. Got involved with punk and hardcore through basically skate and surf music videos and that stuff. It's just part of the culture down there. First, when I was in high school, played in little punk bands like with my friends. But my first kind of more serious band was a band called Live Today. We were early 2000s style potcore, playing the fast stuff with two-step breakdowns, kind of melodic hardcore stuff. As I was telling the guys before we got on this, that there was a show flyer that basically said we were In My Eyes from San Diego, and that was a very fair assessment.
And Live Today was kind of in the same era as Over Dead Body, right?
Yeah. So we actually, some of our most important shows, we played Pat's Warehouse with Over My Dead Body and Suicide File.
I was there for that. Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been where it was, and with Sidetracked from Seattle.
Oh yeah, Jay.
Yeah, Jay. So
I still talk
it was
to
funny.
Jay.
It's funny how with COVID and the emergence of the No Echo group, reconnecting with Jay and being like, hey, you remember me?
Dude, I mean, not to get off topic, I talked to him, and Sidetrack is still a band, dude, and they've put out 75 records or something crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's just a bunch
Go
of
look at the discography, you're like, what the heck, dude?
Was that the one we did? Corvallis?
Yeah, they've been Physical Challenge, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, they're cool dudes, man. Anyways, go on. Sorry.
No worries. So we actually did a few, since we're on this topic, then we did a few dates with them around Southern California, which put us at Pat's Warehouse, put us at the Ojai Women's Club. Actually got my car towed in Santa Barbara at that show with all my gear. That was not cool. Yeah. So then after that band disbanded, I played in a band with Aaron, the vocalist of Point of Recognition, called Count the Cost. We did a 5-song EP on Give Me Strength Records. It was CD only because that's what it was at the time. But I've still wanted to get a hold of that and maybe put it on Spotify or remix it or something like that.
I think I got it, man. I think I have that CD. I think we played a couple of shows with you guys even.
Very well could have. I mean, we did some shows. We actually played with Mental and Far From Breaking, and I think Desperate Measures too at the showcase. Our drummer broke his arm at the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you guys play shows with Lockjaw's band when he did this Christian band or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah, through it all.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We definitely played them a couple times randomly.
That was a thing for
sure. Maybe you guys played those shows too.
Yeah, I can guarantee we played at least one show with Through It All.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one, but so after that, that was sort of when I was in my early college days. Eventually I transferred, went to a school in Santa Barbara called Westmont College, and didn't really do anything musically for at least band wise, for about 13 years, 12, 13 years before Discourage started.
Nice.
Um, yeah.
And then, and what are you doing now? You live in the Bay. That's kind of what one of the main things of this is reconnecting people or staying connected and just kind of trying to find out what people are up to today. I mean, obviously
Right on.
COVID sucks, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
what do you do for a living? Like, what do you, who are you
Yeah.
hanging out with up there?
Yeah.
Notable that we need to hear?
Yeah. So what am I doing now? I've got a bunch of music projects going on, which is really cool. Discourage is in the middle of writing. Having just put out, a record that we really love. Really want to get something sort of even next level from that. Tuning just recorded a record, 5 songs that, as far as we know, is going to be out on Indecision Records, barring anything, catastrophic.
Okay.
Um, and then what am I doing personally? I work for University of California, San Francisco. Right now everybody's working from home, and it's slated to be that way for a while, maybe permanent. Who knows? I mean, things are really changing as far as like the Bay Area's work culture.
That's cool though.
Like
A little
all
better.
the tech companies are basically like, all right, peace. Um,
Yeah,
so
that's
you're
true.
seeing a mass exodus out of there. Like, you know, Bay Area rents were historically just out of control, insane, and they've dropped. I mean, I was able to move back to Oakland to a studio apartment, and pay less than when I moved out of my last place.
Yeah, nice.
You know, so
Good thing
so
it's
that's
open.
pretty much what's up. Like, I hang out with my band guys. I do Muay Thai. Like, that's been fun to do, to kind of like
Yeah.
pick that up a couple years ago, and rock out. So
Heck yeah, man.
Awesome.
Well, this episode is sponsored by Another City Records. Pre-order Ill Communications' new record now at anothercityrecords.com. This 12-inch features Ill Communications remastered EPs, Ode to the Old Gods, and Death Threats and Hieroglyphics. Available now in 3 colors with either a laser-printed or silkscreen B-side. What's that you say? You don't collect vinyl? Well, they also have cassettes, hats, and shirts. Order now from anothercityrecords.com. Well, let's jump into the records, man. Matt, you picked a record. I know these guys are your homies. Safe Inside. Whatever, family, whatever you want to call them. Tell us what you picked.
So I picked, a record that's near and dear to my heart. The Gateway City Sound by Time and Pressure from St. Louis, the baddest band in the Gateway City.
I love it, dude. I love how they
Yeah.
rep hard. Rep St. Louis. It's awesome.
I totally just got that. God,
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I did not. I've heard of this band, but
Mhm.
I never had a chance to listen. Or I never gave myself the time to listen.
Right on.
So taking the opportunity to check it out,
Yeah.
and I did not connect those dots. The Gateway City,
Hmm.
St. Louis.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. That's
It's all
awful.
good, man.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I just
I
realized
think
I got a carry-on sweater, and this is the new carry-on to me. I mean, like,
I was gonna say, yeah.
the first song is carry-on worship to the max, dude, which
Yeah.
rules. So
This is my style of hardcore. Like I love this style of hardcore. So I'm definitely grateful that we got to check this out, because I was like, why did I sleep on this? I shouldn't have slept on this.
Yeah. Well, glad you finally did. Like, it's funny you mentioned, Carry On. Obviously, the first song, number 75, starts off with that,
oh yeah,
tremolo picking.
yeah,
And I don't know if you listened to the Todd Jones episode of 185 Miles South, but
yeah,
Todd actually specifically said, like, yeah, I heard there's this band that like does like that thing that we kind of brought into hardcore, or was like real signature for Carry On.
yeah.
And he was like, they're like, oh yeah, Time and Pressure.
Yeah, that's
So
how
I was
I
like,
that's how I heard of the band first from that episode. And I had to check them out, and then I
yeah,
saw your split on there, and then the Safe Inside record's awesome.
yeah.
So
So appropriately for this, I made sure to use my Time and Pressure mug.
Yep.
So
Gotta represent for the
Great,
homies.
represent. Yeah,
great diner vibe. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. all designed by James Carroll of Time and Pressure, who, for the record, did the Discourage art for Forlorn Hope and for the Split as well. Um, so he's been doing a lot of design work, a lot of design for Safe Inside.
Yeah.
He's also become a good friend of mine.
Awesome.
James specifically, because we do a lot of work together on art and stuff like that, and talk a
Yeah.
lot with Patient Zero and Jerry and stuff like that. So
Nice. Yeah, they're all their stuff's really cool. The aesthetics on it, the record cover for this is really cool.
yeah,
Got like a throwback vibe and kind of like with some of the Fleur de Lis, whatever you call them.
yeah,
I really dig the art cover or the cover for the art. Um,
hmm
yeah, I like this record a lot. Um, and I think they're got a new one coming out soon or at the
yep,
pressing plant.
hmm
Definitely read. Think the lyrics are super clever. I don't have this on vinyl yet. I ordered it, but I also when I ordered it with the pre-order for that. What's the metal one that Safe Inside's putting out?
Ooh.
Gosh dang it, dude. With the dude from Vegas, Spirit
The
World.
Folsom?
Okay.
Yeah,
Is it the Folsom dude?
so I pre-ordered
Yeah.
this order, and it's now none of it's going to come until the pre-order drops. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I really want to read the lyrics and stuff, but I
hmm
just from listening to like the Lost Boys songs, got some rad like little call outs. The This
hmm
is not an exit has some
Yeah.
clever. I mean, a lot of clever lyrics, and I like lyrics. That's my thing. So
hmm
I feel like he's a good writer.
Yeah.
I get a huge like count me out vibe from the dude's voice.
hmm
Yeah, I was gonna say that
Yeah.
there's parts of it that kind of reminded me of like Permanent type Count Me Out.
Yeah, he's able to like sing fast but hard still.
hmm
Like I don't know if that makes sense, but if you listen to it again, and be like, oh man, like because a lot of guys will sing fast, but they're not. He maintains just like Mazzola would do. He
hmm
maintains that level of just like gnarly awesomeness, whether he's going fast, slow, like ringing out his voice. I think that's really cool. I dig it a lot.
Yeah. I've talked to him a lot about vocal delivery and the difference, when you're tracking vocals for as far as like having a mic on a stand or doing the handheld, with the big Shure recording mic, and he's
Yeah.
a big fan of the handheld
Oh yeah.
recording delivery. So
Yeah. Nice.
he shows videos of it. He's like, yeah, I can really get that intensity, and I know like I think probably for the next time we do a Discourage record, I'm gonna try to encourage like, hey, why don't you try this, Eric? And see
Yeah.
how it comes out.
I should try that.
Um,
I don't want to blow my voice out so much.
yeah. Did you ever hear the recent podcast that came out about with Mazzola and Ace from Breakaway, where they
Yeah.
talk the history carry on?
Yeah.
And
Form of Passion is awesome.
yeah,
That episode that episode was rad with Jason. Yeah.
yeah, and
He's a
just
super
like
cool dude. We did some shows with Count Me Out, and he did a whole set one time and pretended to be Swedish the whole time, and in like Oregon at a hippie fest. So like it was awesome. It was like one of the
right
best,
on.
one of my most memorable sets I've ever seen. He was
Oh
a
yeah,
good
for
kid.
sure. So, but the thing that really stood out to me from that pod was that the fact that they recorded the vocals from Permanent just single take, like
Yeah,
cover to cover. Maybe they did overdubs, but like
yeah. It
that
sounded like
whole
he would do. Instead of punching in every other line, it sounded like he just went for it, dude. That's awesome.
yeah, like I
Yeah,
think that's super cool and like gave rad context to the record.
yeah. Definitely worth something trying to do. If it
Yeah,
doesn't work, but you might get a couple lines to be able to mix in.
for sure, for
That's a
sure.
cool idea. Uh,
So my take on the record. Do you mind if I just jump in on it?
yeah, go for it. Yeah,
All right. So like one of the things about the record is like it's two parts basically. It's like you take the first six songs are an EP, and then the end it was the demo they did in 2018.
yeah,
So like my exposure to the band was in 2018 when I was playing in a band called Dying for It, and we went out to the Midwest and played a couple shows. We did a show in Tulsa, one in St. Louis, and one in Chicago. And there was a band out there called Better Days, and their drummer is the drummer of Time and Pressure as well. So like Time and Pressure was just starting up when I first met those guys. And I heard the demo and I was like, okay, yeah, this is like the type of hardcore I really like. So I finally met those dudes in St. Louis, like the whole band. They knew who Discourage was, and so we got to meet each other, be friends. I got to see them play. we played this rad show in St. Louis. It was sold out. This venue called the Sinkhole. With a band called Miracle Drug, Time and Pressure, Better Days. It was their record release, and dying for it. Super rad show, and that was really sort of what like I was like all about Time and Pressure, having seen them, listening to
Yeah.
the demo and stuff like that. Um, so I loved it from that standpoint. So like the last five songs, were sort of near and dear to my heart. There was like this nostalgia of
Yeah, I get
everything I
that.
loved, like like none of the riffs are like they're not like crazy, mind blowing. They're just solid riffs, like
Yeah,
and fast, energetic lyrics that are well written. Drew's like an English teacher, I think. He's very literary.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Um, but like I really connected with the song "This Is Not an Exit." As someone who's been figuring out relationships in his life, it's a song about like a lot of what Drew writes about is sort of like finding his identity and who he is, like and growth that comes from broken relationships. And so like that song particularly has really resonated with me
So
lyrically, and I just think it's a great song too.
yeah, I dig that one. It's on the split too, and uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Is it a different recording?
Yeah, so they
I meant to.
re-recorded it for the split and like changed the intro.
Okay, I meant to go back and like do them back to back, and I got busy doing life, but
Yeah, that's how it is.
I focused
So
in on the LP.
yeah, yeah.
Ryan, you guys
So
need to add before you rate it, or you got more to add? More, Matt?
oh yeah, no, I was just gonna talk about like for me the standout track on the whole thing though is No Strings Attached.
Yeah, I like that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
like I
little
think
Tokyo
just
vibes.
yeah, it's just like so powerful how it ends. I am in love, but I am free.
Yeah,
And just that breakdown is just it really wells up a lot of emotion in me, and so and it
yeah, I could
sounds
definitely
definitely
see
sounds
this
great.
band. This band reminds me of like Pausing Numbers Air, which I know right now is a lot of crossover stuff, and the biggest bands are triple B crossover bands, I'm sure.
Mhm.
But
Yeah,
I hope bands like this will take off. Discouraged tuning, like Time and
yeah,
Pressure. Uh, I hope that they'll, because those are the funnest shows, man. Where you're circle pitting,
Yeah,
you're
I
diving,
want to see this band live.
you're
yeah,
piling up, dude. Like, yeah. I
yeah.
do want to see them live. I watched their Ben Sherman thing. That was cool, but definitely not. Didn't capture the live show vibe, just because there's no
Oh yeah,
participation. So, but it was
yeah,
cool. They were good live. They were tight. It was fun.
yeah, yeah. They've got good new stuff coming out. So,
Yeah, I heard a few of these songs actually, and they're pretty rad. So
yeah, yeah.
that next record is gonna be killer. All right, so Ryan, what do you rate this one at, Ryan?
I got this one at Believe the Hype.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm into it. I want to see what comes next. It's definitely a band that may not have been on my radar before, but they definitely are now.
Mhm.
Like like I said, I want to see them play live because I know that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
yeah. Matt, what'd you rate it?
Well, I can't give anything that's comparable to like Start Today and stuff like that. In Illmatic. I mean, like, but I would definitely say this is like Believe the Hype plus. Um,
Yeah, it's on the
you
way to
know,
something, definitely to something
yeah,
special.
yeah. Like to me, like one of the last Illmatic records might have been the Gulch record from last year, but like
Yeah, that's
this is
next level.
definitely yeah. But this is definitely solid. It's everything I love about hardcore, both musically, lyrically, and just as people. Like they're fantastic people too.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference. I mean, that's hardcore though. Like when you like it, people. I mean, Die Hard Edith, the band sucked, but like we were nice guys, so like people
It
like
makes it a
that.
lot easier to like
Yeah,
Yeah,
the band
yeah,
for
oh
sure.
man, that band sucks, but hey, I'm gonna sing along to that one song. But
oh yeah,
so when they're
yeah,
good people and a good band though, that's rad. So
yeah, for
I
sure.
rated it at Believe the Hype too. The one thing I would say maybe holding it back is that it's kind of an LP, but it is kind of the demo plus the 7-inch. So I
Hmm.
think the next one that's just all new material is gonna like blow people away because the
Yeah,
newer songs on the front loaded of that record are a little bit to me are better than the end. Not that the
hmm,
end's bad, but I think they grew, and I think on the next one they're going to grow even more, and it's going to be even
yeah,
better. So
yeah, for sure. I think like the one thing I would like to see, growth wise, is maybe a little like variation in keys, like, you know, just in the songwriting, you know.
You're
To think
talking
about like,
science now, man.
yeah. So there you go. So just a
Sorry.
little more variance in that, I think would really help them strengthen what they're doing.
This transmission is brought to you by It's Alive Fanzine. That music you just heard was Down the Street by Annihilation Time, off their self-titled full-length with Nardcore legend Fred Hammer on the mic. Annihilation Time CDs and massive It's Alive posters with gnarly art are available now. Direct message at It's Alive Fanzine on Instagram for details.
Alright, so we got about 10 minutes left on my time. We'll hit this Nerve Agents real quick. I think Ryan picked this one.
Yeah. Well, when we were talking about trying to find something.
Bay Area.
Yeah, like, okay, back in the day, but also try and keep it Bay Area, something that might resonate with you, especially being in Oakland.
Yeah.
So when we were talking about Nerve Agents or Redemption 87, ultimately I was like, we got to do the Nerve Agents EP, that first 7-inch that they did. Now, this band, like, at the time when this first came out, for me, I was like, I don't know what this is, but okay. It was pretty cool, but it wasn't until I saw the band play live that it was like, oh, I get this now. This is awesome. Like, just, they play fast, they play loud, it's just like the way hardcore should be. Like, their shows, there's always like a circle pit. Everybody's always singing along. And I don't know about you guys, but I can't help but try to sing like Eric Ozeen every time I'm singing along, and it sounds stupid. But it's always fun.
He's definitely he's my favorite all-time vocalist, dude. I mean,
like, oh, they're so
and
good
on record, live. Yeah. Matt, so what'd you think?
So, revealing my cards, actually, I never got to see the Nerve Agents. I actually went to a Nerve Agents show at Showcase with Carry On and Champion, but Nerve Agents canceled. So
they did that a lot.
Yeah, that's the one thing I heard. So, and like Ryan was saying, like, you know, you saw them live, and that's when it connected with you. And like, I think I really wish I could have seen them, because I would be more attached to this. Reviewing this to me is sort of like if you were to ask John Clip to like review Over My Dead Body. You know, for me, I'm going to be personally attached to OMDB, whereas he might be less so. I had never listened to this record up until we decided to review this.
Nice. That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, even though I'm a Bay Area hardcore dude, I've only lived here 10 years. So like, and it's been as an adult. So
yeah, this is like 20 years old at this point.
Yeah. So that said, you know, listening to it, I get it. And I understand how important this band is for this scene here, for a lot of people. But having never seen them, it didn't quite grab me until like a bunch of listens into it. So it took, you know, maybe 3 or 4 listens where I was like, okay, here's the songs I like, you know. I tried to compare this to the LP they did afterwards, which was my only exposure to the Nerve Agents, and I didn't like that LP. It doesn't do anything for me.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. That's honest.
Yeah. It's definitely different too.
Yeah.
Like, it feels time and place, you know. It was back when like AFI was starting to get big.
Yeah.
And they were kind of doing their thing for Hellcat Records and stuff. And I get that.
They definitely distanced themselves, not distanced themselves from hardcore, but they had those dark vibes, and they like. Mm-hmm. So I lived up there during when they first broke out, and they really went out of their way to like kind of accept the punk kid, like all the different kids, you know.
Yeah.
And so like if you were just a straight up like, oh, I love floor punch, you might not even mess with nerve agents up there.
Right.
Yeah.
But they went out of their way to like just embrace everybody, and I thought that was super cool, you know, with the dark vibes and the makeup and all that, and like super cool. But yeah, I mean, I could see where if you never saw them live or you weren't a big Redemption or Unit Pride fan, like you might not be, it might have slipped the radar for sure.
Yeah. Like I definitely liked Redemption 87. Like I, had a record of them. I think, like Andy, you're saying, like the vocals on it are really what make it. Like musically, if you put a different vocalist on this, it would just pass away,
For sure. Yeah, that would definitely change it for me too.
Yeah. Like Ozine is a great vocalist.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that.
All right. Well, there's a cool 185 episode, 185 Miles South episode too with Eric Ozine on it, and he goes into all his bands and stuff. And so if you haven't seen that, or maybe listen to that, and you might even become a Nerve Agents fan when you listen to his take on it. It's kind of cool. You're like, oh man, like you might get a little inspired. But yeah. All right, Ryan, what'd you rate this one? We're kind of running out of time here.
For me, I actually rated this Believe the Hype, because for me, I actually love Days of the White Owl more, the full length. Yeah. But this band, it was all about the live show. It was all about the live show.
Yeah. Matt?
I actually gave this a sure shot. It grew on me, as I listened to it more. But it's not something that I think I'm really going to spin very often. Again, I don't have the emotional attachment that I think a lot of people do who grew up with them.
Which is big in hardcore. That's cool that you're like bringing that up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I do think, it's a good transition between Redemption 87 and Days of the White Owl. Like, to me, it sounds more like Redemption 87. So I like that. I get it. I was like, okay, I probably would have got more into this, had I seen them and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely did. I think as a all their records, I'd probably say Believe the Hype for me. But as a band, I think they're Illmatic just because what they did, and like I said, the way that they bridged the gap for so many kids, dude. Like they really, at that time in the Bay Area, man, I'd go to Gilman, and hang out. I'd go to shows by myself because I didn't have any friends up there, and I was in the Air Force, and they were just like cool dudes. They're around, man. They said hi to you, and it's like, oh man, dude, that's freaking Eric from the band. That's the bass player. That's a drum. Like they're just cool dudes walking around, like talking to people, and all those guys were that way. But they kind of really like united a scene up there, and I thought that was really cool. And then even when they got bigger, they definitely went out of their way to kind of like embrace everybody, and So, but I did rate this as a Believe the Hype for me. But yeah, so that's that. So what's we got like 3 minutes. What's next, Matt? You're gonna record a Discouraged LP?
That we're definitely writing. We've got 8 songs. The hope is let's get an LP. Like that's the next step for the band.
That'd be on Patient Zero.
Yeah, I mean, we don't plan to go anywhere else. Like the relationship that we have with Jerry and like the stuff that he's putting out right now, like he's gonna have a fantastic year. Like,
yeah, I mean, we kind of reconnected through talking. You're helping me out a lot with the communication. I appreciate that, and point me in directions and stuff. And and you turned me on to Patient Zero, and like that label is really cool, man. They got a lot of cool stuff. That Burning Strong, is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Burning Strong stuff.
Yeah, that record rips, dude. I was like, like I didn't know what to expect. He said, check it out. I did. It was super awesome. If anyone hasn't checked out Discouraged yet, they might be sold out now, but they got a 7-inch on Patient Zero. Just pick it up if you haven't.
2 copies left.
There you go.
2 copies of Patient Zero.
Get it while you can. Get in when you fit in.
For sure.
Gotta order it now.
There you go. Ryan's ordering it. There's one left.
Nice. One left after Ryan orders it. So.
All right. Well, I got less than a minute. So, Matt, thanks for coming on. Great seeing you again, man. And
dude, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you guys.
This is what this is about, reconnecting and hanging out with the homies. So, thanks, dude.
Have a good night, guys.